Welcome back, friends. Here in this lecture, we're going to learn more about Java programming. Here we're going to learn about static keyword and this keyword. So let's start. When we are programming a different set of tools or writing certain code, offering different functionality, there might be certain scenario where we need a lot of variable declarations. Say we have 100 students or 100 of employee data. We need hundreds of variables. If each employee consists of 5 different kinds of variable, then we may have a total of 500 different variables. It would be difficult for us to declare, remember, as well as difficult to use in the program. So there are certain features or certain values whose value may range for different users. So there might be repetition, and for that reason we need a static block. Static is used in two ways. We cannot alter its value first, and second, it is a single block, so less wastage of memory, efficiency of memory management. So your program may run on less memory, need less requirement of memory, and perform faster. So the static keyword is used in Java for memory management mainly. It can be used with variables, methods, blocks, and nested classes. The static keyword belongs to the class rather than an instance of the class. So it can directly incorporate with class variable rather without using any object. You can directly call static methods without using class objects. The static variables can be used with as a variable such as class variable, method such as class method, static block, and nested class. So with the static keyword usage, we can have static variables. We need to just simply write this keyword static before writing the data type of a variable. So if we want to create a variable called count of the type integer, we need to write static int count. This would be the format. Similarly, we can define different methods in a static format. We have to write a static void foo. Remember one thing, we have a public static void main. That is the main function that we use in every program. So it is also static. That's all because we need it to be created initially by default at first. So it is a static block. We will learn about what is public later. When we have a static block, we can write different set of code and keep it static by just simply writing the static keyword and placing everything else in the curly braces. Then we can also create static inner classes. We can create a static class within another class by simply writing a static keyword before the class keyword itself. Similarly, we can create a static method and interface method. Then we have a static variable, uh, which is been declared with static. As we all know, the value of a variable may change over time, but a static variable is stationary or remain constant over the time. We could not alter its value or change its value. So there is a problem in case we don't have a static variable. I've also given you the example earlier. There are different students or different set of data, and we need to have roll number, name, and such kind of data. And where a repetition occurs, not in all the fields, all number of students, but in certain set of students. In a school, there are teachers, students, and more. So certain things are common between students, certain things are traits are common between teachers. So we may have a static variable for such things. And this field will get only memory only once. So it will be more memory efficient. So we have the public static void main or different methods. We have the static, we have the signature, we have the return type, and different things here. It could be incorporated with different tools. For static blocks, which is used to initialize the static data member, it is actually executed before the main method at the time of class loading. So if we have the main method, a public static void main, that we have in every program, and we have a static block. The static block will be executed first, whether we write it earlier or later, doesn't matter. So if we have println statement in the static block and the main block, the static block will execute first. Then we have this keyword, which is a reference variable, which is used to refer to the current object. It can be used to refer current class or instance variable. It can be used to invoke or initialize different class constructor. This keyword is used in with also variables because there might be different set of variables. Uh, when our program gets very complex, we may have a huge range of methods, classes, and functions. Then there might be the repetition of name of variable. Suppose we have a variable called sum, sum, which is an addition of different variables. The sum variable maybe there might be two different or three different variables with the same name sum in different methods and classes. So when we want to print a method value of sum of the class method from different function or method, how we can do so? We can call this by the this keyword. Actually, when we write any variable name and print it, the local value get preference in case of conflict. But if we don't want to print the local value, what we can do? We can use this method. So let's learn this about the diagram. Here we have program, we have a class, we have a variable declared in the class, we have the main block, we have different method. So with the method, we have the same variable, and in the class we have the same variable. The name of the variable is variable and the values differ. When we want to print the value of the class variable, we can write this dot variable. It will print the value of class variable, which will be displayed as 5 here. And if we want to print a local variable, we just simply need to write the variable name. If we just write this dot variable name, it will print the value of class variable. So it is a simple use of this keyword. There are various uses of this keyword in Java. It can be used to refer instance variable of current class that we have used. It can be used to invoke or initiate current class instructors. Similarly, we can use constructor in place of variable. Just simply we need to write dot this dot constructor name and provide a function opening and closing brackets. It can be passed as an argument to the method call. It can be passed as an argument to constructor call as well. It can be used to return to current class instance and more. We can leverage the power of this keyword and a static block, which will empower our usage over different variables and commands. We're going to learn more in the coming lectures. Till then, keep learning and keep moving ahead.